Okay guys, episode 3 of Morning After Mobility, which is we're going to be using a Voodoo band and some sort of a bench setup, whether it be a standalone bench, competition bench, or something that you kind of rig up in the rack. And that's all that you need for this one. So, Voodoo bands, this is the Voodoo Band 2.0 from Rogue, mobilitywod.com. I prefer these because this is something that I helped Kelly kind of push into production, and I was able to help him name as well. There's a bunch of couple people have these out there, and it doesn't necessarily matter. I like the feel of the 2.0 a little bit better, specifically for stretches that you're going to double up with not just necessarily voodoo banding the tissue itself, but also trying to take it through a range of motions and move a little bit. I think it captures a little bit more of what you're trying to do. So what I'm going to show you is how to wrap it around your quad, and then we're going to go ahead and smash it with the bar and also do the stretch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up shorts to the affected area. Now wherever you're going to go is obviously going to depend on where you hurt. So a lot of times you're just going to look at the stretch. You're going to pull a little bit, you can pull a lot. So the further you pull, obviously the tighter it's going to be. A suicide wrap, which is some of the lingo that I use, is going to be something where you're pulling for over 50% of kind of the band, if that kind of makes sense, okay? So I'm going to try and get a lot of our quad here. I'm usually sore in this spot right here, so that's what I'm going to try and cover, and that's what I initially use this for, in this stretch, I mean. So you're going to go ahead and wrap it. The first and last kind of wrap are the most important. You want to be able to tack it down this way, and then you're pretty much safe to crank down, and you don't necessarily need two hands anymore. Just going to roll, and what you're going to use is you're going to try and take this and take about, that will be about half, that's going to be full. So go and try and cover the band and make 3/4 revolutions as you kind of go up. And obviously if you only had a smaller part, you could cover less of the bands as you started to move up. But I'm trying to cover about, 5-inch part of my quad as I'm going around. And as I start to run out here, I'm starting to plan, okay, I'm going to go ahead and choke this right about here. So this needs to get all the way back over to my leg and get to this about S in Rogue Fitness, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, put a finger underneath, reach around. I'm going to pull this underneath, just like that, okay? So now you have a nice tight piece right around our quad, which is right where I'm hurting, which is exactly what I want to smash on. Okay, so extend the leg on a bench, try and get it there, get a bar, take it, whoa, that almost hit the camera, and just basically roll over top of the affected area right here. You can just kind of move it up, move it down, use it as a rolling pin, turn your toe, move it up, move it down, roll around. Just really do your best to try and smash the area that's wrapped. Everything that's outside of what you're doing isn't what we're after. This is kind of getting the all the action. So this is where we want to put all of our attention. We want to make sure that that's the area that's going to be affected the most. So just roll, roll, roll. Try and get, we're looking at our leg from here to here is like half, 50%, since we're not going to be able to get any much of our quad. Try and get as much over here into the adductor kind of as we can. Again, push down and roll. Same thing about your quad. And as we kind of go over into the lateral aspect of the quad, which is on the other side, okay? So you're going to go ahead and do that. Try and go anywhere between, 2-3 revelations. Also going to depend on how hard you choke that band around your leg, just how bad it's kind of hurting as well. Okay, guys, so that's going to be there. You're just going to go ahead and roll there. That can be something that you just do and you go ahead and switch, or you can kind of progress into the next spot, which is what I did. If you spend about 2 minutes here, you're going to go ahead and try and spend about 2 minutes in this stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn around and face the other way. We're going to use the bar as a little bit of a stretch here. Something similar to kind of a couch stretch or a wall stretch. We go ahead and just kind of lean up. Try and get that quad opened up and stretched as much as we can. Release a little bit. Try and get closer and get your butt closer and closer to the heel. Release a little bit. Kind of come back out. You can also force your toe, your foot, into the bench, like almost as if you're trying to extend your quad, and then let go, and then come back. It's got to be careful. Some people have, that'll really negatively affect what their knee feels like, since this is a pretty extended, or you're in extreme flexion here, trying to go into extreme extension. So it can kind of hurt your knee a little bit here. So be very careful, especially if you have a knee injury that you're trying to clear out, okay? You can also lean forward a little bit, get a little bit of action here going in your hip flexor. Just move around. And again, you're looking at about 2 minutes per side. You should be able to have some nice discoloration going on up top and below our quad. It's going to go ahead and kind of move there. And all we're going to do to pop that off, lift up, open that up, and go ahead and do this. What I like to do after doing any sort of a stretch with the Voodoo band, since it's been cutting off a lot of blood flow, I like to go right back into that stretch and just allow that muscle just to kind of open back up. Some people love it, some people hate it. It works really well for me. So that's what we got for episode 3. Again, kind of the Voodoo band wrapped quad with the bar smash. Been using the bar to help us kind of stretch, help us kind of open up that area. That's going to help you if you have any sort of a knee pain, or a lot of times a lot of back pain. If you just did a bunch of quad work, front squats, etc., and the next day, your hips aren't moving well, your back's kind of banged up, you're able to go ahead and kind of attack that quad in a situation like we just showed you. That'll really kind of aid in allowing that to open up a little bit, so you can go ahead and move forward onto the next one. I also want to address one other thing about the Voodoo bands. I get questions on how do you roll this up. Really simply, I don't pull a bunch of tension into it. I'm just going to start there. You just roll it right back up. Have another rubber band, hook it around there, and then you're all done. You don't need to make it like it's a knee wrap and put a bunch of tension in there. You're going to pull the tension out when you put it on. Okay, guys? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next one.